Coming up, Beyond the Kingdoms is visiting a new holiday event for the channel, a full guide to the holidays at Universal Orlando Resort. From meeting the Grinch over in Who-ville, a dazzling holiday parade with giant balloons, and of course Christmas in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Welcome to this week's Sunday main show of Beyond the Kingdoms. Hello everyone, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and I'm so excited to share with you today a brand new event that I am covering. Well, it's not really a new event, but it does mark the beginning of my coverage of Universal Orlando Resort. Now, I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and it's been a long time since I got to celebrate the holidays over in the Wizarding World. So today, I'm going to be giving you a full guide of all of the decorations and entertainment offerings now at Universal for the holiday season. And like always, let's start with 5 fast facts.
The holidays at Universal are spread out between both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. This year, festivities began back on November 16th, and they'll continue to run all the way into 2020. The official end date for all of today's offerings is actually January 5th. Islands of Adventure is home to Grinchmas, where all the Who's in Who-ville take over Seuss Landing and celebrate the season. That is, if the mean one doesn't ruin the fun. Now, Universal Orlando is home to the updated holiday parade featuring Macy's, which includes dozens of balloons flying high in the sky and some favorite characters like Shrek and, of course, those minions. But the main event here is definitely the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Diagon Alley is where music lovers can enjoy Celestina Warbeck and her Banshees, singing some original holiday tunes that may sound unfamiliar to the Muggles, but just as festive. And Hogsmeade, of course, is where the magic truly happens, with both a daytime show featuring the students of Hogwarts and a nighttime spectacular that only takes place during this time of year. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the holidays at Universal Orlando.
Now, normally I break these guides down into different categories like dining, shopping, and entertainment. But since the holiday offerings are kind of evenly spread across the entire resort here at Universal, I'm going to break this guide up into locations. And we're going to start by heading over to Islands of Adventure, where you can celebrate the season over at Who-ville and meet the Grinch himself.
Hello. What do you want?
Just to check you out,
Ooh.
you know.
Smarter than I thought.
Oh.
Smarter than you look.
Seuss Landing is the place to visit at Islands of Adventure if you want to celebrate the holidays with the little ones. And that's because the citizens of Whoville take over the land in a wonderful Christmas overlay. And at the center of it all is the Holiday Spectacular. This started several years ago as a simple little show in a corner of the land, but has since grown into a big musical stage show, retelling the classic Dr. Seuss story of how the Grinch stole Christmas. The story begins just a few days before Christmas as all of the excited Who's in Whoville start planning for their big celebration, stringing up decorations around the town, buying presents for their loved ones, and participating in a few classic songs and dances. But of course, the mischievous Grinch is not really a fan of the holiday, and it takes an innocent Cindy Lou Who to teach him the real meaning of Christmas. Now, both theme parks at Universal are certainly more geared towards the teens and thrill seekers, and there isn't a tremendous amount to do if you have toddlers or little ones too scared to ride the big thrill rides. So, if you have really young kids during your visit, this is definitely a show to make time for. The entrance to the Holiday Spectacular is right next to the land's quick service restaurant, Circus McGurkus. And this is a pretty popular show, so I would recommend getting here a good 20 to 30 minutes before your desired showtime. And please take note that there are usually 6 performances a day. Now, if you want something extra special with the Grinch, you can take part in a special character breakfast that is offered on select days of the week. The Grinch and Friends character breakfast takes place inside Circus McGurkus and obviously features a full breakfast buffet and a one-on-one meet and greet with the Mean One. But if you're interested, it's priced at $35 for adults and $21 for kids 3 to 9. Now, if like me, you can't score the character meal, there is one other spot you can meet the Grinch, and that's at Gertrude McFuzz. I believe this is where the Cat in the Hat usually meets during the normal parts of the year. The Grinch poses for pictures and meets guests here every day during the holidays for the majority of the day, but exact meeting times will vary, so check your times guide when you visit. There is a photographer positioned at this location, and will gladly take a picture for you with your camera. For those unfamiliar, this is located just across the candy shop and near the entrance to the High in the Sky Seuss trolley ride. Like I said, Universal is really for the older kids, but if you have a mixed age group traveling with you, Seuss Landing is definitely a great land to visit for the little ones.
Now, long before Islands of Adventure even opened, the original park, Universal Studios Florida, had a long-standing tradition of bringing the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade down to the park. After those giant balloons would make their way down Broadway and Times Square on Turkey Day, some of them would migrate south to Florida and appear in a special holiday version of the parade through December. Now, like the Grinchmas Hula Day Spectacular over at Islands of Adventure, the parade got a big update last year. And it's now called the Universal Holiday Parade featuring Macy's. And instead of just featuring some big balloons sponsored by the iconic department store, the parade now features an array of floats celebrating the different characters and attractions seen at the park.
The Universal Holiday Parade is a rebranded version of the long-running Macy's Parade that has taken place here for several years now. This new and improved version features favorite characters seen around the park, like those pesky minions. One thing that I absolutely love about this parade is that it features huge holiday balloons traveling down the New York area of the park. Now, if you want the absolute best view of the parade, position yourself by the Macy's store facade right next to the entrance of Revenge of the Mummy. You'll be located just across the park's big Christmas tree, and it's a spectacular view. Characters that you'll see in the parade include the hilarious King Julian from Madagascar, along with Alex the Lion, Marty, Melman, and of course, Gloria. And I can't leave out the cast of Shrek. That's one of my personal favorites. The parade takes place every day during the holidays, and the route starts at the corner of where Hollywood meets the lagoon. It's right by the horror makeup show, and from there it travels down the main entrance plaza, up Production Central, before the big turn at New York Street, right at the Christmas tree. And take note that the parade starts pretty early, at 5:30 p.m. on most days, but during the busy week of Christmas when the park hours are extended, the parade runs at 8.
Now, my Potter fans probably clicked on this video to learn more about Christmas in the Wizarding World. This is without a doubt the highlight and my favorite aspect of the holidays at Universal. Because you kind of get two things wrapped in one. You get a small taste of Christmas in London with some extra magic on top thanks to Harry and his friends. And this also officially marks the beginning of hot butterbeer season. Now, while the attractions stay exactly the same for this time of year, several entertainment offerings get a festive overlay, and there's a great nighttime show that you must see.
the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is absolutely beautiful during the holidays. I love all the unique Christmas ornaments dotted around both Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade Village. There's something about the cool breeze of a Florida winter that makes it simply magical to be in these lands. And it almost feels like you're in the United Kingdom, but thankfully not as cold and wet. Now, Diagon Alley is a fantastic place to go holiday shopping, either for yourself or for a wizard back home. There are dozens of stores where you can pick up wands, robes, cuddly toys, and so much more. Like I said earlier, the attractions stay exactly the same during the holiday season. And this year, there aren't too many holiday food items in the Wizarding World. But you must make sure to get a hot butterbeer, because this is only offered at this time of year. But I'll talk more about food later this week in my Foodie Friday video. The real holiday additions to these lands focus on entertainment. And while both parks have some fun shows, the real good stuff is at Hogsmeade Village, where a beautiful nighttime projection show takes place directly on Hogwarts Castle. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Let's now hop on the Hogwarts Express and take a trip back to London and look at our first holiday show in Diagon Alley. My big Potter fans may vaguely remember hearing about Celestina Warbeck. While she never appeared in the films, she was first mentioned in the second book, The Chamber of Secrets, and Ron's mom was always a big fan of Madame Warbeck's music. J.K. Rowling herself said that while the character never really made an appearance anywhere in the books and movies, she always envisioned her to be like a Shirley Bassey figure, and it's great that the entertainment team at Universal brought this character to life in the parks. In this holiday version of her show, she's accompanied by her banshees and sings hit songs such as Nothing Like a Holiday Spell, Accio Christmas, and my personal favorite, My Baby Gave Me a Hippogriff for Christmas. Now, like everything else, showtimes vary greatly. On slow days, the show takes place several times a day between 11 and 4. But then it can go up to 10 performances a day during busier periods. So like everything else, always check the times guide. Now, jumping back over to Hogsmeade Village at Islands of Adventure, we have another small-scale daytime show that may seem a little weird if you're unfamiliar with the stories, but perfect if you're a Potter fan, the Frog Choir. Every day in front of Hogwarts Castle, select students from each house gather on a small stage at the end of the village high street and sing a cappella holiday songs. Something that Universal does very well is produce some fun daytime shows like this one, with some really talented singers. While the Frog Choir alternates performances with the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally, this is the only daytime show with a holiday twist in Hogsmeade. And if you have a favorite house or want to meet one of the frogs up close, the students will happily pose for a picture after the show. Unlike Celestina over in Diagon Alley, the Frog Choir has a more structured show schedule, usually performing 6 times a day from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's simply because the stage and surrounding area has to clear for the evening performance, which brings in some really big crowds. And this brings us to the main show of the night here at Hogsmeade, Christmas at Hogwarts, a spectacular nighttime projection show directly on the castle. The magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle brings the spirit of the holidays to witches and wizards everywhere. And it's a fantastic way to end your night at Islands of Adventure. Now the good news here is that the show runs continuously every night from about dusk to park closing time. When you walk down the village, pay attention to the signs directing traffic. Team members will politely herd you like sheep and keep you in a holding area in the village before letting you into the main square for the next showtime. It's best to approach this with a little bit of patience because the village can get crowded. It may seem confusing, but basically the center lane is for guests wanting to see the show and the left outer lane is to get on the rides.
So there you have it, friends, my complete guide to the holidays at Universal for 2019. You guys know I love Disney, but this was a fantastic change of pace for me, especially because I love Harry Potter.
Later this week, I'll have a special Foodie Friday video highlighting some of the best holiday treats across both parks at Universal. And next week's Sunday main show will be an exciting look at what's coming to all of the parks in Central Florida for 2020. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.